All right, guys, welcome back again to Pimp Daddy Duster, back again with another action figure review. As you can see, I do have a bed in this room. We do have some guests coming over, and all of most of my display is taken down. So what's going to happen is, like I mentioned in my previous video, we are packing up. We are going to be moving in a few months and relocating. So it was really sad, but yesterday and a little bit of the day before, I had to pack up most of my Marvel Legends. I think I have a couple stragglers, like my Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, and Galactus is still up, and I think I do have the Future Foundations Spider-Man up there behind me. But I had to pack them up, bubble wrap them, and everything like that. I have 172 Marvel Legends accounted for in that box, and that's nothing in package, so that's all loose figures. And I was absolutely astounded when I had seen it, kind of shocked, but it's crazy, you know. This is my growing love for this hobby, and I can't believe I am that far with Marvel Legends. At one point I absolutely hated, or I highly despised 6-inch figures. I was a 3 3/4 inch collector, and you can see a couple behind me. But it's really awesome. So if you guys start to see some changes, I think I'm even going to change the venue here in a couple days when I do if I do record again. So you might not see the collection room. So yeah, just be prepared for that. But today, guys, you probably already watched my video on the Extremis Iron Man, really solid figure. We're going to move to another Marvel Legends, and I know I've been wanting to mix it up with some Transformers, but I haven't had any time to. And with the Transformers, for me, it's a little bit more work to do, and unfortunately I just don't have the time right now. And I do have some Marvel Legends I gotta get out of the way, and one that I've been eagerly wanting to open is one that I found at GameStop, and I wasn't gonna originally pick this up, but when I seen it in person, I was just like, man, I loved it. The figures looked really cool. It is the Squadron Supreme 2-pack. And I think, just getting off, I'm not familiar with Squadron Supreme, but I believe this is Squadron Supreme of America from Earth 616. I know there's the Earth 712 Squadron Supreme. The leader is Hyperion. But I don't think this is it. I think this is the Squadron Supreme of America, which it doesn't say that on here. And it does come with Hyperion and Dr. Spectrum, which are really two really cool characters. I love this appearance of Hyperion, how he looks. Looks really sleek, really muscular. Hopefully when we get him out of the box, he looks that cool. And then Dr. Spectrum. Funny story about how I was actually introduced to Dr. Spectrum. My buddy in basic training just loves obscure things, really kind of a free soul, loves guitars and painting and stuff like that. And one Marvel character he absolutely loved was Dr. Spectrum, because of him being able to, I think he was given a prism or something like that, a color prism or something, like a prism of power, and he can make colors and stuff like that, and he would always like paint them and stuff, and I thought it was really cool, especially when I seen this figure was announced. I was like, might have to pick him up. But anyway, this is the front of the box for this 2-pack. Like I said, I found it at GameStop, used that $5 coupon, and got it for about 45 bucks. Look at that, $49.99. Cheap action figures are a thing of the past. Not going to happen again. But when I seen it in person, it was the only one. I was like, man, I probably won't see this again. And I had canceled a lot of my Hasbro Pulse orders. But this is the 2 renders. They look really cool. Pin figures, though. So keep that in mind. We're not completely into the new age. They are using some of the older ones. And this looks like a Bucky cap remold with like longer arms or bulkier shoulders or something on Dr. Spectrum. We'll just have to see and do a comparison. On the side here, you got another digital render of the 2 characters. Looks really cool. And then on the back, we do have the 2 characters again. Hyperion does come with an interchangeable hands, kind of like a power hand, and then a grab hand, and then 2-fisted, which are really nice. Maybe some flying hands would have been nice. And then Dr. Spectrum, he's got his fisted hands, which look like they're grab hands, the little prism of power, and 2 energy effects, which look really cool. And on the side here, we do have the box art, which I always love. I hope Marvel Legends, I think we're going back to the plastic boxes, but I hope they step up their box art game, because I think this makes it for me. If they were to add some more of this, I think it looks really cool. But guys, stay tuned while I get this box open and we get these figures reviewed. Alright guys, now that we have the Squadron Supreme 2-pack of Hyperion and Dr. Spectrum actually out of the package, I did do a little research, and you know me, my Marvel history, Marvel knowledge is very, very poor. A lot of times I just pick up what looks cool. But I believe what I was referencing for the 616 was actually Squadron Sinister. Don't get those two confused. These are actually from the 712, I believe. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. I am open to learning about these characters. And I'll definitely be doing some more research actually after this review. But as mentioned before, these are Dr. Spectrum and Hyperion. What you can't tell right now, though, is that, man, these guys, when I got them out of the package, I'll actually put a photo up here in a second, but Dr. Spectrum's legs were completely bent, like he was stuffed into a smaller spot than actually the height of the actual figure, and his legs were bent to like his right. So really unfortunate. I had to heat up the figure, and I'm still having a little problem with the legs. And then Hyperion, with the newer figures, I've had this problem a lot, but the joints, you know what I mean, when you're kind of snapping them for the first time and trying to bend them, sometimes if you're not careful you could break a figure. Thankfully I never have, but I've gotten really close, and he was one of the ones in his legs. I had to heat it up with a hair dryer and actually break them that way. So but overall the figures look really awesome, actually better than what I anticipated. When I picked up the box in store, when I seen Hyperion, I was like, wow, this guy looks awesome. And so I had to pick him up. So we'll start with Hyperion. I know I got Dr. Spectrum in a really cool pose that he's probably going to fall over and drop everything. But Hyperion, right? So this is like Marvel's, another Marvel Superman. Some of his powers, superhuman strength, flight, which he doesn't come with a pair of flight hands, which is really disappointing. But from what I have learned, he is the leader of, or former leader of, the Squadron Supreme on Earth 712. I was getting, the whole mix-up came from me thinking Dr. Spectrum was the leader. I think he was of Squadron Sinister. So, not too bad. You know, he's got all the superhuman abilities: speed, stamina, flight. Let's see, I'm panning through Marvel.fandom. But basically, really neat guy. I actually had this guy in the 3 3/4 inch, and he came in a 2-pack, I believe, and was a really, really cool figure. And I had to scoop up that 2-pack as well because I loved how that figure looked with the Marvel Universe. But now that we have him in 6-inch form, I don't think that we've gotten this guy before. I might be wrong on that. But I don't know if you guys, for some reason, he gives a striking resemblance to Radioactive Man. I don't know why. From The Simpsons. I don't know why, but probably the little symbol on his chest and the color scheme. I'll put a picture of him up here as well to see if you think that he kind of strikes a resemblance. But overall, the figure's really nice. I don't know what body mold this is on. Uh-oh. Yeah, the legs may have reverted. Okay, you got to be careful now. We might just break a figure on air today. I don't know what body mold this is on. I don't know if I've seen it before. I know it's probably a reuse. It has to be. But I think it looks really, really sleek, especially the torso and the arms. It makes this character really bulk out. If there was like a Warpath, or is that his name? I think that's what I would want to see him on this. Maybe something even bigger. But I do really like this body mold. Articulation is pretty basic. I don't know if we have anything down now at the waist. Just the little torso swivel thing that we had also on the Extremis Iron Man, which no gripes here. Then of course we do have his cape that is actually mounted to his torso, and then the beautiful, let's see if you guys can see that,
the beautiful head sculpt here. I know my camera is probably not in focus, but man, Hasbro has been knocking it out of the park with these face scans, you know. It looks amazing. And the paint overall, thankfully, in this haul, or in this review, this 2-pack, my paint isn't that bad, especially on the figure that I really wanted. It was a Hyperion. It looks really, really clean. It's unfortunate I'm going to have to put this guy in a box and open him a few months from now. So it is what it is. But Hyperion, really, really cool. Definitely a pickup if you can find this guy for cheap. If you can find him outside of the 2-pack, I recommend him. And then also, yeah, I mentioned he didn't come with flying hands. He comes with like grabbing hands, which in this case, I don't think is a bad idea. You know, he's a really big dude, so we'll just let him lay down for a minute. But grabbing somebody would be kind of cool. I don't know exactly how you do it. It almost looks like he's, you know, holding like a machine gun or something. So kind of weird. No trigger fingers. I would have loved some flying hands, but unfortunately we don't get it. So we'll move on to our next character, Dr. Spectrum, the man that can use like energy effects that have you know, all due to this power prism that he's holding in his left hand. And a really neat character. I don't know, looking at pictures of the character, if I would have chose this body mold. Then again, he isn't a very big guy, so not too bad. But yes, he has energy effects. He can fly, and basically it comes from this power prism, which is a completely, I believe this is a new, let me try to get a better look. Oh, man, we lost it. I believe this is a completely new item, accessory. I don't think we've gotten any, like, you know, jewels from a heist or something like that. And then we also have the power effects that I do have on his right arm here. And I don't think these are new. It's just a new color. And they do have a mixture of the, I think this is supposed to be like a red, green, and the other one's blue and yellow. So maybe I got them kind of mixed up. It looks really neat. And then he comes with another pair of grabbing hands, which I don't understand. Honestly, with this figure, maybe you can hold the... No, I like it with the power prism in the open hand. It's kind of weird that they didn't add the flying hands because they're both 2 flight characters, which isn't really bad. Okay, and like I mentioned before, yeah, the power prism's gone. This is on the Bucky cap, which actually, if you guys watched my orb video, I totally referenced Bucky cap and then pulled out a who was it, a US agent figure, and I was like, yeah, this is the Bucky cap. I'm so dumb, sorry guys. But look, there you go for the legs. If you can kind of see here, there is definitely some rounding that's going on with the plastic. Super annoying, especially for a $50 set, man, you know what I mean? And then this figure's actually got some slight mess ups on the paint. On the back here, you can see some already like rubbing, or just where you can see that the figure, the torso is like blue, and through the yellow you can see the blue. And overall, I don't really like the paint on this figure. I just feel like it's done really, really poorly. You can tell what's painted and what isn't. And then the just kind of cheap material that they're using for the legs, I hate that. And it's not like it's a new thing or anything like that. I've had a problem with, I think it was my old Marvel Legends Guardian figure, had the same thing with his bicep a lot. And then just the overall glaring difference, I don't really gripe about action figures, but the plastic difference and the paint difference between the yellows is just really, really distracting. If you look at it from a distance, not a problem. You get up close, you can see this is almost like a highlighter yellow, and then this is obviously just yellow painted over blue. And I get it, I'm not, with a little more attention to detail, it might look a little better. And then obviously, standard articulation, but for you guys that, oh wow, for you guys that actually like when these are kind of consistent. I don't think we'll ever get it, but the little joints here, you can see the blue bleeds into the yellow and the blue bleeds into the red. But I didn't notice that earlier because on the box, yeah, definitely. On the box, there's pins on the elbows of Dr. Spectrum, but on here, there's none. So that's awesome. Is there any on Hyperion? Oh, wow. Yeah, Hyperion's knees, no pins, but pins on the actual arms. So that's really neat. So, you know, for any newer Marvel Legends collector, if you see pins on something, it's a reuse from another figure. So obviously the arms of Hyperion was reused, and the legs, this is the Bucky cap, like Buck, except for the arms. It's almost like too this I'd have to check, but it feels like he's got broader shoulders, but I'm probably just not thinking right. And then the head, of course, I believe this is just straight up the head off of Blizzard. And what other character has this like masked, mean looking head? But yeah, kind of disappointed with this guy. I don't know if I'd pick him up, honestly, unless you're trying to complete a Squadron Supreme team. Cool character. I just think the paint is just, oh man, yeah, it looks really bad. Luckily the front of them, but compared to the render, obviously I know it's kind of bad comparing it to it, but just the paint looks so much better on there than it does on here. It's just like so. And then now the knee is like bending in. So guys, I am going to be attaching some action shots of these really cool figures. The Hyperion figure I do recommend, honestly. If you want a Hyperion, this is an awesome figure. Dr. Spectrum, if you can find them really cheap, wouldn't mind them either, but definitely not my favorite of the 2-pack. And I will catch you guys next time on Pimp Daddy Destro. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.